Hello, Covenant Church. Again, welcome to a midweek word of encouragement. Glad you're able to join me for a time in the Psalms. If you're just joining us, know that here at Covenant Church, we've been approaching Easter through the Psalms. And in addition to Sunday mornings, we are spending some time midweek, briefly in a Psalm as well. This afternoon, wanted to reflect a little bit. Last weekend, I took two of my granddaughters to a place that I absolutely love. When I was 4 years old, my parents were part of a group of people that bought some land that set up camp, and we would spend weekends there. We would spend week-long vacations there during the summer. It was a place that I hung out and that I loved and got to know. And now, all these years later, to take my granddaughters to that place is really cool. One of the cool places to go is Turkey Creek. Turkey Creek's probably a creek that's probably 20 feet in width that leads into the Clarion River, but it's really rocky, tons of rocks. You can throw rocks, you can climb on rocks. There are huge rocks, there are small rocks. But one of the lessons you learn really early at Turkey Creek is that when you cross the creek, you always test the rock to see if it's wobbly or firm, right? You don't want to step on wobbly rocks or you're going to go in the creek. You step on firm rocks to cross the creek in order to be well balanced and well established to get across the creek. And so my joy, especially for Grace, to begin to teach her the important lesson of standing on rocks that are steadfast, that are solid, in order to get you across the creek. And even more so, maybe my joy was later showing her one of the great places at camp where on the Clarion River there are these two humongous rocks that we swim off of. So we can dive off them and swim off them, climb up on them and do all that. We weren't swimming in the Clarion this weekend, but we were on that rock. And here's a cool thing. When you step on that rock, you're not even thinking about whether it's wobbly or not. It is huge. It's steadfast. You can sit on it. You can stand on it. You can put lots of people on it. It is a humongous rock along the Clarion River. And so I thought about that rock, about standing on the steadfast rock. I thought of Psalm 18. And I'm hoping that in these days where we are forced to deal with a virus, that these words become helpful and encouraging to you. Listen to what David has to say about God as his rock. He says, "I love you, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, my God, my rock in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold." Now, it's pretty well known that as David writes Psalm 18, he's come through some rough times. One of the reasons we know that is in verse 4. It says, "The cords of death encompassed me. The torrents of destruction assailed me. The cords of Sheol entangled me. The snares of death confronted me." It's a pretty significant place. And maybe it's knowing that he's in that place that makes the first couple of verses all that more dramatic and strong, in the reality that he's come from that God has rescued him from that place. And so here's his response as you move backwards in the psalm. "Oh God, I love you. I love you that you are strong, that you are steadfast. I love you that you are a rock that I don't have to worry about teetering and tottering. You are a rock that is steadfast and strong. You are my fortress. You are my refuge, a place in which I can trust." In the days of this virus, there's lots of conspiracy theories. There's lots of ideas. Everybody has a different idea of how to protect yourself. And for some of these things, it seems as if they're a bit wobbly rocks that we don't want to. Can I encourage you today that in the midst of these days, in the midst of any scenario where you feel unsettled, the most sure and steadfast place that you can go, that David understood to go, is the rock of Jesus. Jesus is a rock that is immovable. Like that rock along the Clarion River, you can stand on it without even thinking about it wobbling or moving. You can find refuge in it, and it's in that rock that you can trust. Can you be encouraged today, people of God, that Jesus is that rock in these days. We fall towards him and are held by him in days of uncertainty and in days maybe even of fear, that we would know that he indeed is our rock, our refuge.